Good morning from Foster and Marshall podcasts, where we question everything and ask why. And my goodness, there's a lot of whys, isn't there, going on and need to be asked. And one of them is, to my absolute shock and horror, and both Foster and I are incredibly shocked. We have found out, given that we have seen deterioration in society everywhere, in villages, towns, across the country of England, who we hold to our heart and hold dear our country. We have seen nothing but deterioration, and I'm sure you all have as well. People are having to rely on food banks, which really takes me back to the 60s. Our mum would get a tin of soup and have to water it down to feed us all. And I'm being serious here. I have to say it like it is. You would never expect in 2026 to see the deterioration everywhere in people, towns, villages, hospitals deteriorating. We've already talked about the water company, and I do hope that a lot of people have checked that out. Dirty Business on BBC iPlayer and Panorama, Forever Chemicals. And our shock and horror is that our government, and I hate to mention the word because, unlike Foster, I wanted nothing more to do with it after the COVID because I saw what was going on. It was mind control, fear factor off the scales. And also nobody was asking what was in these vaccines. And I've never known a doctor want to push vaccines so that I was getting at least 4 phone calls a day. So I was immediately suspicious. So apart from all that, so we've got all that and all the other things that Foster and I have found out. We now know that the Labour government have given, and wait for this, I'm sorry to have to give you this news, £500 million of taxpayers' money. This is taxpayers' money, everybody's, to Tony Blair's daughter-in-law, and her name is Suzanne Ashman, and his son, Ewan Blair, is going to run an AI digital whereby I have also found out, and Elon Musk on the Rogan podcast has stated that all our phones, we will not have phones or computers by the year 2030. Now, I want you all to think about this because this is so serious, not only for our country, but for the world, because this is AI total control of all of us on this planet. I do not say this lightly. This is fact. And can you imagine really what this could, and I'm sure will happen? Well, the phones are going anyway, computers. So we will have to rely on the controllers that control the AI to allow us to speak to anybody. And I'm quite certain it will end up like the Hunger Games in the end, but whereby you won't be able to go out of your door. You'll be told what food to have. And indeed, this is happening in China. And to us, this is a horror story. This is a horror film come to life. These are the sort of things we used to watch on Sci-Fi, and it's actually happening now. And I'm going to pass over to Foster now on her thoughts on this.
I'm absolutely mortified, really, because this has actually been going on since the COVID pandemic, or should I say, it's turning out to be more like a scamdemic.
Yeah.
But the Together group actually fought against us having digital ID then, because digital ID will mean that we won't actually, we'll be monitored for absolutely everything. How much money we get out of the bank, what are we getting our money out of the bank for? It's the beginning of, yes, as Marshall has said, total control over us as human beings. And
Absolutely.
this is a free country. As we are today, it stands as a free sovereign country. However, the government that's in power at the moment, the Labour government, I call them the Labour government because none of them can tell the truth. They all speak with forked tongues at the moment. And, you know, the person that's in charge, Keir Starmer, the granny harmer, is literally driving this country to its knees. It's actually bankrupting
Oh,
the United Kingdom. And as a nation, we have always been an incredibly big-hearted, open-armed country that has
yeah.
always been
Help.
supportive of other cultures. However, I'm now seeing this as to where it's becoming detrimental to our own culture. We are actually facing our own extinction. And I
Yeah.
know that sounds incredibly dramatic.
No, it's
And I never
absolutely,
thought
absolutely.
for one minute that I would be sitting here on May the 15th in 2026 actually uttering those words. Because back in 1984, when the book 1984 became out there from George Orwell, we were all like going, this couldn't possibly happen, could it?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
couldn't possibly come into being bit by bit by bit. And there are now government ministers like Suella Braverman, who was on an interview with Andrew Gold, who is another podcaster, talking about this very issue, how when she was in government and wanted to basically secure our borders and to manage even controlled immigration, that she was being blocked left, right and centre. And people that were saying that they wanted to you know, actually put it under sort of some sort of control, or that, you know, they'd be saying one thing to us, all the prime ministers were saying one thing to us, and then behind the closed door something else was going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And, you
100%.
know, and you get a little bit tired of being called as conspiracy theorist
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
all
It's
you're
not.
doing is just questioning the
Yeah.
narrative of what's out there today. And I'm afraid we are now at a tipping
It's
point.
it's
We are
serious.
at a tipping point. So I understand why people have turned their back and thought, my vote doesn't count. And no, it won't. If you go for the four primary colours of red, blue, yellow and green, no, because we've already been programmed for these colours since we were little kids at school. What team do you want to be in? You've either got to be in the blue team or the green team or the
Yeah.
yellow team
Yeah.
or the red
Yeah.
team. No, I'm not in any of them anymore. I'm sorry. I'm voting outside of the box now.
Yeah.
I've done
Yeah.
my homework. I'm not a spokesperson for reform, but I'm afraid that's where my vote is going.
Yeah.
I will not be budged on that. You can boo me, you
Yeah. We've
can
got
do
to do
whatever you like,
something.
and I'm afraid I'm just going to give you the one finger, because they are our only hope out of this shit show, which
Uh,
is now Parliament.
Absolutely, Foster. And I speak as one. Unlike Foster, I came out of it. I came out totally disillusioned with all the lies. And there are many. They never know how to tell the truth, and they do speak with forked tongues. My God, don't they? And I got sick of seeing all those podiums and all the scaremongering for people to have these vaccines, and nobody was asking what was going in it, and the pressure just wasn't normal to me. But yeah, I was totally disillusioned, but my vote's going definitely with. He's our only hope right now for any sanity in this country, and this country will be gone. There will be no more England.
No,
It will be gone. And
It's
indeed, the world, actually, the world, because it's a big takeover. And I'll come back to the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and all the elite club, right from the 1800s. Check it all out. Go back to the 1800s when Rothschilds took over all the banking system. And by the way, they took that from people that were honest and wanted to help people worldwide. It was all taken, as was Nikola Tesla, the greatest inventor, and all his wonderful works were stolen for terrible purposes against humanity. And it really is, Foster, I'll hand it over to you because I'm feeling really, I mean, it's horrifying, terrifying. We don't say this easily. This is fact. Do the research, don't you think, Foster? Do the
I think you've got to
research.
do your research. And I think, first of all, you need to start with the Magna Carta
Oh, well
in
done,
1215.
Foster.
So this was where we were sovereign. We, as living human beings, are sovereign. Our bodies are sovereign. Our mind is sovereign. And that it would be our vote that counted. We were the voice of the country, and what we said went. And subsequently, over the generations, over the centuries, it has got swapped and changed about a bit, but there are still aspects of the Magna Carta that still count. And for me, I had always been a long-term Conservative voter from the time I could vote at 18, right up until the last general election when I actually voted Reform. And I did that because I went to the rallies. I listened to each and every speaker. I was feeling what the vibe was in the room and what the feeling was of the people in the queues going in. I mean, this isn't just a handful of people. And I can assure you now, racist, I am not.
No,
I have
neither of us.
I have always respected the race and cultural beliefs of others. My whole career, in a way, was based on very sort of Asian and Indian cultures as a
Absolutely. We love
holistic.
it. We love it. Our father loved it.
Absolutely. And I have very good friends from right across the world and know many different friends from different cultures, from
Absolutely.
African to
Yeah.
Indian
Yeah.
to
We love it.
Hindi, Sikhs, all of them, Italian, French, you name it. I'm always happy to listen to them and integrate with them. And, every country in Europe has really been hammered with immigration. And we have to say, we are on an island. So basically for me, my belief about immigration, which is the number one factor in all of this, is that this is an island.
Yeah.
And as an island, we only have a certain amount of land mass.
And resources.
And resources. And as what is happening now, as Marshall has spoken and quite rightly pointed out, there is this deterioration of our resources because the people that are coming over legally have to be housed, legally have to be given hospital care and dental treatment and everything. And in some ways, and in some incidences, above ourselves, the taxpayer. So this is where resentments build, and this doesn't have to happen. We can have managed immigration.
Yeah.
And we can bring in people who can bring in great skills into our country. And that's what we've always done. I mean, you've got to love Mr. Patel, who had his little shop on the corner. I mean, we were really we were really close friends with ours when we lived in Staines.
Yeah, absolutely.
Harry and Kay. And that there was just this, we didn't see skin color. I've never really been interested in skin color. I'm interested
No.
in the human being, the personality of the person I'm talking to. I like intellect. I like good
Yeah.
conversation. And so I'm sick and tired of the race card being pulled when we're actually saying, look, we just want this managed. We just want
Sense.
everything to be done in a controlled and careful manner. Because at the moment, what I'm seeing where I am now in the middle of the countryside is great swathes of our countryside is now being taken down to build homes, not necessarily for the local community,
No.
but for
Yeah.
people that have come in on a dinghy across the channel. I have friends in Kent who have 5 locks on their doors because they're too frightened to go out after dark.
Yeah.
And you can say that I'm lying. I'm not. I only wish I was, because I saw it with my own eyes. And I
Terrible.
think this is all getting out of hand. I think now we have to say no. And this whole point of digital ID is to manage us and monitor us. Other cultures can run riot all over our streets and act like feral lunatics. And yet when we want freedom of speech to walk and make
Yeah.
our point
We're
across,
not allowed.
we're kettle gated into and arrested and, basically bludgeoned, this two-tier policing, two-tier care with his policing. And I know this sounds like a party political broadcast, but it's not supposed to be.
It's a
It's
fact.
all about freedom.
Yeah.
Marshall and I were born into a free country. It
Yeah.
was tough. We didn't have, our streets were not lined in gold. We've had to work hard for what we've had. And, this has not been a free ride. But I can assure you now, I want to know why Tony Blair is still behind the door of number 10 pulling the
Yeah.
strings. Why
100%.
Keir Starmer actually brought back Gordon Brown, who was a failed PM. Why are
Well,
they all being brought back?
can I
This is
just,
a
yeah.
Mandelson who's an absolute cretin, a real creep, a
Yeah.
sex predator. What is
Yeah.
going on
Yeah.
here?
Yeah.
This is vile. And this whole
Because,
thing with the Westminster bubble and the civil servants has to stop. So whoever gets into power has really got to drain this swamp and
yeah.
drain it fast.
And it is a swamp too. Um, Yeah, it's about our freedoms, and please, everybody, think about this, because we're being really serious. It's so serious. We were up at 3 o'clock this morning discussing this and saying how shocking it all is. And please, we just need all of us think about what you're going to vote and who you're going to vote for, because and I speak of one who came out of it disillusioned and disgusted with all the lies. But about our freedoms, make no mistake, if we go digital, that's it. You will not have a free bank account. They'll be telling you how much money you can take out. And even, sorry, you weren't good last week for whatever reason. You're not having any money. This has happened in China, and we certainly do not want this happening. I don't want it happening to anybody in the world.
It's not even for us. It's actually for our future generations,
Yeah.
because this is a free island. And I for one, I don't have children of my own, but I have I have friends and I have family who have children, and I want what's best for them. I want them to
Yeah.
have the kind of freedom that I had
Yeah.
as a child. I want them to grow up knowing that they could better themselves, that they could become really educated
Yeah.
and make good and make an impact in the world. I don't
Absolutely.
want some controlling hand telling me what I can and cannot buy in the supermarket and telling me what I can and cannot take out of the bank. It all sounds like it's a great idea and it's all sold rather,
Mm-mm.
nicely, but it
Mm-mm.
isn't. And if you really want to, I mean, God, the the hours and hours you take doing research,
Yeah.
but you've only got to look at Derren Brown, the push, and some of what he was
Yes.
showing. It
Yeah.
was showing mind control, and that's
Yeah.
exactly what this government and
Yeah.
even subsequent governments have been about. It's all been about a twisted psychology. They've taken
Yeah.
psychology and twisted it,
Yeah,
and they've
definitely.
used it against the human mind,
Yeah,
the human
everybody.
psyche.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
human psyche. They're attacking it
Yeah.
constantly,
Definitely.
bombarding it and
Yeah.
twisting it, even down to sexuality,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
another one of those fallacies. If you're a lesbian, fill your boots. If you're a gay man, fill your boots. Doesn't bother me one iota. I
No,
really
everyone
don't
to their
care.
own.
I
Freedom.
have friends who are trans. They're very happy. They do what trans people do, and they don't want to encroach. They're not there waving their flags. They're
No,
out there living their lives happily.
exactly.
And I'm sick of that even being used as a political
Yeah.
weapon. Everything is being weaponized.
Yeah.
Everything is being weaponized.
Yeah.
It's going beyond. It's now right on that tipping point. And the game you're seeing now, to be quite honest with you, all of this, is he going to resign? Is he going to be there
Yeah.
today?
Yeah,
Is he
he
going to
should
be
have
there
resigned
tomorrow?
ages
He should
ago.
have been kicked out ages ago. The man is totally and utterly incompetent. Mind
Yeah.
you, if you see the gang of Muppets that they've got lined up to replace him, Lord help us all anyway. But at the end of the day, I think that this is all orchestrated to slip in under the radar the real plan for
Yeah.
digital
Yeah.
ID.
Yeah,
And if
absolutely.
as I've said, there's the group Together who are, and hopefully I'm going to be able to put a link below. You need to support them. They're very, very active in preventing, and have been now for 5 years, in preventing digital ID. It's a small subscription you can subscribe. And we now need to stand up as a collective to say, no, this is not what we voted for. This was not on the
Absolutely.
manifesto, and you have no right to push it through government through the King's Speech. That is not what the public want. We've made our voices known, and we have to keep on making our voices known.
Absolutely, Foster, and they've got no mandate for it. And
No.
none of us have voted for it. So there you go. Immediately, it's like none of us have got any say in anything. We're nothing. It's like we're treated like we're nothing, that we've got no say. And this is it's really making me so furious and angry that they have the audacity to do such a thing. And I could go on with regarding we have to think of the future generations. Absolutely. We really do. And I'll tell you something else too, which is very, very close to my heart. The fact that they're teaching children of 5 now about sex and everything. They're not allowed to be children anymore.
No.
And I think that's really terrible. They're taking their childhoods away and worrying them and causing stress to the children. But there you go. That's another subject, Foster.
It really is, because that's another weaponization. It's education.
Absolutely.
They've got into the schools. They've got into the universities. I'm sorry, young people, you need to look into what communism really is.
Yeah.
And decide whether that's really what you want for your future. I mean, you can see we're 2 middle-aged ladies. You could turn around and say, well, you've had your life, haven't you? Well, yeah, thank God I did, actually. But
Yeah,
you need to think.
freedom.
Absolutely, because we were free. We were taught how to critically think. We were taught to actually care, and we were brought up with a moral compass, which I'm afraid is another thing that seems to be sadly lacking. What in God's name has happened to common sense? What's happened to morals? What's happened to moral values?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I'm going to go back to the whole, and I'm not criticizing anybody's sexuality here. I know many, many lesbian and gay men who are so happy in their relationships, and that's what relationships are about.
Absolutely.
So when I'm talking about moral values, it's not that.
No.
It goes beyond that. There's an evilness. Who wants a government that wants to legalise paedophilia?
Exactly.
Because I'm afraid that's what
Harriet
they want.
Harman is one of them, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. She wanted that
As
legalised.
horrific as that is.
And who does that serve? Well, we all know. We know that is actually to appease one particular group of people.
Absolutely. And also, look what's happened in the world. Look what's happened in the USA with the Epstein lot. I'm afraid it's not just there, it's here in England as well. And it's all been hidden.
It's really across the world.
It's across the world. And we both speak with our hearts because we've had massive experience where paedophilia is concerned. So we know what we're talking about there.
I've counselled. We've counselled. That's part of our role in what we do. We counsel people that have been raped, sexually abused.
Yeah.
We deal with people with trauma. So for us, this is really close to our hearts.
Absolutely.
This digital ID is, the real criminality won't stop any of them. That'll all carry on.
Yeah.
And that'll be nothing
masse.
to see here.
En masse.
En masse. And it'll be nothing to see here.
Yeah.
We've got sharing law in some of our counties, in some of our cities now. I never voted for that. Why have we got that? What happened to the Crown Court? What happened to our own laws?
Absolutely.
And it's all edged away.
And then we were brought up not very close to where King John was held at sword point because he'd become such a rogue king and pillaging, and his men raping and pillaging and taxation, that the knights got together and held him at sword point, didn't they, Foster?
Yep, absolutely. You've only got to look through history. It's not a first. We have faced these challenges before. But as voters, and if you're a young person out there, my word to you is do your research. Don't trust the primary colours that are in the Houses of Parliament. Look, 100%. Even if it's independent, even if it's not reform, vote independently. Even if it's for the raving loony party,
vote for yourself if you have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Vote for keeping your mobile phones and your computers.
Vote for freedom. Don't trust what's in the government now.
Freedom
because
on the ballot.
Absolutely.
If you have to. Yeah. I'm voting for freedom.
I think
vote for freedom. Vote for freedom.
Absolutely, it's vote for freedom. And the only one that I can say at the moment who's in Parliament who has that and has fought for that and stood up in Brussels and screamed from the rooftops for that and went for Brexit to enable us to free ourselves from all the red tape from Brussels is Nigel Farage. Love him or loathe him, he is our only hope right now. And I can't believe I'm saying that coming from a Conservative background.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm sorry, I'm for equality, I'm for balance, I'm for things being done justly. I'm somebody who wants justice. That's very much in my persona. I think it's being fair and just. So when I see other people that are homeless, where I live, if I go down into the city, I see people sleeping in doorways. I see young people sleeping in under cardboard.
Heartbreaking.
And yet somebody that's come, absolutely, but somebody that's come in on a boat,
on a dinghy,
gets put in a 4-star hotel.
And by the way,
how can that be justified? How can that be justified?
I believe.
And as you mentioned, Marshall, You mentioned food banks.
Yeah.
These people that have come in on the boats, they're not going to the food banks.
No, they're not.
They're in a hotel having their meals cooked for them,
Looked after.
getting everything given to them, free mobile phones, free everything. So it's the hard-pressed families right now where
Yeah.
their fuel bills have gone up.
Having
That's
to go
unnecessary.
to food banks.
All
Yeah.
unnecessary.
And the elderly.
Absolutely. Killing off the elderly.
Starmer has taken all their extra help. And
Starmer,
the children,
the granny harmer.
and the children have lost their schools as well. God knows what's happened to 16,000 children. Can you imagine that? It is heartbreaking, and people really need to really think really seriously. And by the way, we are known in this country for really uniting and taking to the streets. And if we have to, that's what we're going to do. We've done it before, haven't we, Foster? We'll do it
there's
again.
a march this Saturday in London.
Yeah.
I haven't got all the details. I wasn't planning on going, I have to be honest. But as I sit here now on Friday, I'm actually contemplating going, and I'll try to get all the details. But these are marches for our freedom. And
these are freedom marches. They really are serious. And all you young people out there, if you value freedom and your phones and your computers, I'm not just saying this, watch Rogan and Elon Musk podcast on YouTube. And Elon Musk is telling you straight, there will be no more mobiles, you won't have a phone, and you won't have computers by 2029 and 2030. And we know that that is a big thing in the world anyway, those dates, because those are the dates that the cabal, I'm going to call them, want to take over completely everybody and the world. And that may sound completely, but if you do your research, you'll see it's absolutely true.
Well, that's the words of the World Economic Forum. And if you've ever watched it in Davos, that's their message. That's exactly what they want to do. It's there in plain sight. Nobody's hiding it anymore. And just think, we are now in halfway through 2026.
I know.
And this is 2029. So we do not have long.
Yeah, we don't.
We seriously do not have long.
We don't. We've got to stop it. All of us have got to, as best we can.
Do your due diligence. Don't just take our word for it. We're asking why. I want to know why and how the hell this has been allowed to happen in the Houses of Parliament. What in God's name?
What's happened to the Houses of Parliament?
What lunacy? What's taken over? Have the lunatics really taken over the asylum?
Well, it's appearing so, Foster, absolutely. And the country burns while the fiddlers fiddle en masse.
Well, absolutely. And that's exactly what it's beginning to look like. I'm astounded. I am absolutely astounded. And if you've ever read the book by George Orwell, 1984, you'll see how this is playing out to the letter, actually. Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable that it could ever have amounted to this, and nobody has actually had the balls to stop it, to stand up there and be. We need a governor. I mean, it might not be Farage, but what we do need is a leader that values
freedom.
Absolutely, that values freedom, believes in our country, believe in economics, believe in growth, not stunting growth. Why have we lost all our China factories, all the kilns? We used to make fine china, beautiful fine china. We used to make beautiful glass.
And stainless steel.
Look at our steelworks gone. You know, I know somebody who worked in the steelworks in Sheffield. Absolutely devastated them. We used to do fine linens, wool,
and
hats.
cotton. Yeah.
Shoes. We used to
Well,
manufacture great shoes. Everything, all our own manufacturing shut down, shut down, shut down, sent overseas. Why? We were
yeah.
actually growing after the Second World War. Now,
And
we
that
know what that was like to come off the back of the Second World War, because believe you
definitely.
me,
Our parents told us all about it and what went on.
but
And our
w-
gran.
we grew up where we didn't have central heating.
Yeah. Yeah.
We didn't have that. We had one fire. We didn't have double glazing. So when it was cold, our windows iced up on the inside. And I know everyone goes, "Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, well, yeah, right.
Foster, you brought back a memory. You really have.
Jeepers."
It
No,
really was
but I
ice.
get fed
Yeah.
up with it.
Yeah.
We all could
Yeah.
only ever have a bath once a week
That's right.
because it was too much to heat the water. No, it wasn't. It wasn't all England paved with gold.
No.
It is not
It's what
paved with gold.
and with many cultures that we've all helped this country culturally to build. This is we have always opened our arms and helped people in bad times in other countries to come, and some have stayed, and some have gone back to their countries to build
Absolutely.
their countries up, and trading. Um, world trade. This is one of the most wonderful things in the whole world, is to have world trade. We could have traded our beautiful china and our shoes, our handmade shoes. And by the way, I do want to say a point on this. If you've got hip problems, knee problems, and back problems, lower back, look no further than your shoes, because they're not made like they used to be. They used to be thoroughly and utterly measured and also supported in your instep. Now that is what is causing a lot of knee problems, by really bad fitting shoes.
It's shoddy. It's
Yeah,
absolute shod.
it
Shoddy
is.
workmanship.
Yeah,
And
it
this
is.
is
It's
the other
bad.
thing. We're having to, we do buy an awful lot overseas. I'm not saying everything's shoddy,
No.
but when you've
But
ordered it
we're
in,
limited,
but when you've
Foster.
ordered it in, you can't send it back.
No, it's
Very
awful.
often you can't
Awful.
send it back, and it's
Yeah,
cheap, it's
yeah,
nasty, it's
yeah,
flammable, and there's usually something wrong with the sizing.
yeah,
But
definitely.
no, it's all wrong. But I'm just going to go back to £500 million on digital ID. I can't drive my car straight down a road because I have to do it as if I'm on a slalom downward track, dodging potholes that are really deep. I've had to have my
Oh,
coil springs in my car repaired twice at
yeah,
£600 a shot through bad, shoddy roads. So you can't even drive up the bloody road properly.
yeah.
This is
And also,
disgusting.
it is. I mean, it's unbelievable, Foster, isn't it? Because again, when I can remember when roads were made properly and they lasted.
But you
And
know what, Yvonne, Marshall, some of the Roman roads are actually better.
yeah,
So
100%.
Marshall, the Roman roads are better
Yeah,
than the roads that we have today.
yeah,
Work that one out.
because they were made properly. The whole system that Foster and I have researched, and it's like a big jigsaw puzzle, and we can't get away from it. We wish we could, but we can't. And you piece together, and I'm afraid we are being treated like we're not going to be here much longer. And that is that's the way I see it. That's me,
No, it's a
my
downward
opinion.
spiral.
It's a complete downward spiral. It's like we're worthless. Oh, we're not worth having a decent road anymore. We're not worth having decent footwear anymore. We're just worthless. We're made to feel worthless. We can't even vote because what we're voting for is a lie. They lie.
can't even fly your flag without it being ripped down. So you have your own flag for your country, which for me
100%.
is the Union Jack, because I believe we are all united. Even though they've tried to kick our half of Ireland out. But for me, it's the Union Jack. It has always been the Union Jack. Why would you not want that? Why is that flag being seen as racist? It's our country. I'm very happy to fly other people's flags, but can we have our own first?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the country I was born in. That's the blood. That's the blood that
Of
my
all-
ancestors died for.
Absolutely.
How many of our ancestors took a bullet for us to be free?
Absolutely, Foster. First World War, all those young men, your country needs you. And off they went in their millions to die in rat-infested, terrible, evil conditions in those trenches for our freedom. Are you all honestly, please don't let this happen. Don't let them have died in vain in all their millions in the First and Second World Wars.
On that note, regarding the First and Second World War, you need to actually look up your family tree and talk to the older members of your family, the ones that are even older than us.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, the people that are in their 80s.
Yeah.
Listen to the stories that they tell you. That isn't something that they've just made up.
No,
the Holocaust was real. I know that there are a lot of people out there that don't even believe that actually happened.
No, it's real. 100% it's real. The children, they have them lining up for the gas chambers.
Absolutely. But you know that, Marshall, at the moment, there are people out there that say that that is a lie.
Well, they can carry on in their disillusionment. But I believe in a divine, and, you know,
it's all getting out of control. And that is why we've come together on the social media to literally vent our spleens, because we can't remain silent anymore.
No, we can't stand back. And I don't want to die knowing that I couldn't have done something. And that's coming from my heart. I know Foster feels the same. And absolutely, do your best, do whatever you can. I grew up when, you know, me being the eldest, and I'm sure my sister Foster can vouch, everybody did help each other. If somebody was ill in the road or down the street, we all helped each other.
Yes.
If somebody needed some bread or was having a hard time, we'd cook food for it. We would help each other.
We would share. Share. And, you know, I know growing up, you know, there were always mums that had bread and jam on the table, so that when you came round after school, it'd be like, oh, how's your mum? How's things? So they'd very tentatively ask. And then it'd be like, do you want a jam sandwich? Is a little fairy cake or something? So there was always something, and everyone was looking out for one another.
Yeah.
And that was when we had the milkman.
Delivering milk. Yeah.
And we had the onion man that used to cycle, the French onion man.
Right. The French onion man. Wow.
Do you remember? I used to cycle around with all the onions, and you'd sell you the onions.
Yeah.
We used to have pigs. We only ever used to have one bin, because I want to go on about this a little bit as well. We had one rubbish bin. It was metal. It was made of metal.
Yeah.
It had a metal lid.
Yeah.
And we also had a pig bin. So all your food waste went in the pig bin.
Yeah.
And the pig man would come once a week and pick up the pig swill. And we had one dustbin.
And
because guess what? We didn't have plastic.
Yeah. Gets us back onto forever plastics, doesn't it? Plastics in our brain. And this goes back to our health and wellness podcast, which will be coming out very soon. And that's a whole nother ball game for Foster and I.
Yep, it will be. It's going to be a big one, believe you me. But that was our childhood. My mum, our mum, should I say, she wasn't just my mum, she was our mum, used to wash all the washing by hand. She had a spinner or a wringer. And if you've ever
Yeah.
tried putting a blanket through a wringer, you've got muscles on you like Arnold
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger.
Exactly, Foster. I
No,
remember it
yeah, you'd have
well.
your bucket under there and you'd be turning that wheel round
Yeah.
with folding it through. But there was
Mhm.
always a kind of, I don't know, there was always that sense of delight once you'd got as much water out. And everything was
Yeah.
aired on, we had washing lines. You used to be able to
Yeah.
put your washing out on the line to dry.
And I remember those very frosty mornings when Mum would go go out, and it was hilarious because
What, where
the
it'd be like a board, wouldn't it? Do you remember? You'd be like
Yeah.
getting a towel off the line and it would
Yeah.
be like a piece of cardboard. So
Yeah.
although those memories,
Yeah.
although it was hard at times, and
Yeah.
Mum used to make a pound of mince last 2 weeks,
Yeah. Yeah.
which sounds odd,
Absolutely.
but it was certainly made 3 meals.
It was
You know,
true. Yeah.
you made 3 meals, didn't it?
Yeah.
You'd have
Yeah.
shepherd's pie, then you'd have meat, and
Mm.
then you'd have
Something.
mince and onion
Veg.
pie. Yeah, you name it, Mum made it. I
Yeah.
have to say, mums of our era were very, very
Tough.
stoic.
Well,
Very,
the
very stoic.
they were war children, weren't they?
Yep. They still had their ration books, so they'd got rations in mind.
Yeah.
But it feels like we've got a government at the moment that just wants to go back to that, but without the war. It
Oh,
feels
it'll
like,
be far worse. Oh no, it'll be far worse, Foster. Far, far worse.
yeah, because
We,
this is
we won't have any
taking,
connection. We both know.
no,
It'll be like
because they've closed all the pubs, they've closed all the community centres.
yeah, done their
Anywhere we
best
can
there.
congregate, they've made sure it's all got
Yeah.
closed down because it's become
Yeah.
too expensive.
Yeah.
You can see that there's a huge pattern here, a huge
Oh,
pattern.
absolutely, Foster. No, this is a third world war, and as awful as that sounds, but it's not like we've known it.
Psychological.
This is a psychological AI mind control beyond of human beings, controlling us all, what we can have. Imagine it. If it's bad enough now, can you imagine what it'll be like for the future? And that film, Hunger Games, because the film directors have got a habit of actually being in the know. Oliver Stone, the likes, film director, good film director, they were in the know with the cabal, and yeah. So, it's just
I think
anyway.
even if you look at James Bond, Ian Fleming,
Oh,
if you
absolutely.
look at the last few films
Yeah,
of the Bond with
100%.
Spectre, you're not
Yeah,
far on from what's actually happening now today.
yeah, absolutely.
People going missing. We could go on and on. I mean, we sound like we're conspiracy theorists on steroids, but we're not. We're actually
No,
truth seekers.
yeah.
This is why. I mean, I am absolutely mortified at hearing the fact that it's Tony Blair's coming back into power
His
by
daughter-in-law,
stealth. His
Suzanne
daughter-in-law.
Ashman,
Keep it
you
all in the
and Blair,
family.
you
Yeah,
and Blair.
we didn't vote them in. We didn't
No,
vote for them.
no, and yet look, £500 million they've got.
That figure, £500 million to keep all of us under control on a small island. We might
Yeah,
as well call it Alcatraz. We ought to invent a
yeah,
new.
yeah. Well, there's a new name. That's what
Let's create a new flag and call it Alcatraz
Well,
because
it
it's
will
going to
be.
end up as a concrete jail. It's going to be an
Yeah,
open prison.
yeah. We really all have got to unite. We don't say this lightly and we don't do this lightly, although we have had to laugh. The thing about Foster and me is we do have to laugh because it does release. And that is what our dad taught us, being in the military. That's what got a lot of the military through the hardships and the awful things that they heard or saw was laughter. So there we are.
It's the
So
one way of dealing with trauma. You can't be anxious and happy at the same time. So the
no,
way to combat anxiety is laughter. But I have
yeah,
to say, at sort of 3:30 this morning, I couldn't find anything to laugh about. I
no,
literally
no,
sat there and thought, what do we actually do here? I mean,
yeah,
you know, I've discussed it with Marshall, my political view, although we have, not necessarily totally disagreed. We agree on a whole load of stuff. But I do understand Marshall's stepping back from the political arena, whereas I kind of went full pelt. I wanted to know more and more and more and more, and have done a huge amount of research on it. And I just find myself coming back to there is only one hope. It is our
yeah,
last shot to vote reform.
yeah.
And
And
I'm
we
not
do
afraid to
need,
say it now, even though I
absolutely.
was. I thought I'm keeping my
Yeah,
voting
because, yeah, but
preferences to myself because I don't want to be, I know I'm going to come under attack for saying that. I know everyone's going to go, you're a racist, middle-aged old woman who doesn't want anyone from any other race coming into our country. Well, you couldn't be very further from the truth.
no, it's just not true. This is what's been,
I
it's all been twisted, hasn't
It
it?
is. Everything you say.
By each government has tried to control everyone by twisting everything, haven't they? It's about sense and sensibility, isn't it?
Absolutely. It really, really is. I think, we've just got to have a government who are caring for those people who are contributing,
Yeah,
and have contributed and want to build for future generations.
yeah, for their children's children.
In
Yeah, absolutely.
in some ways, I actually envy people that are here with another country of origin, because I've got to be honest, as I sit here right now, if I had another country of origin, I'd have packed a bag and I'd be at Heathrow now.
Yeah,
I'd be
yeah,
out of this country. I'd go back to my motherland. And that's
yeah.
not because I'm trying to tell you that. I don't want to live in Alcatraz. I don't want to
No,
live in a digital city. I don't want
no.
to live in any of that. I was born in a free country and I want
Yeah,
it to remain.
absolutely. It's freedom. Cry freedom. There's the film Cry Freedom.
Or
Um,
even William Wallace. You can understand that now. Do you know what? I
absolutely.
understand William Wallace much more
Absolutely.
now
Yeah.
when he gives that great speech. When
Yeah.
you see Mel Gibson with his
I think we
painted
bet.
blue face, going freedom,
Yeah, I
and
think
you
we
think,
bet. Mm,
I'm like, do you know what? And I could see me going down the road with a dustbin lid and a broom handle, screaming freedom.
freedom.
That sounds
Absolutely.
funny. With a tea
No,
towel wrapped round my
no,
head,
no.
with the
We've got to
gingham
do
tablecloth.
something. We've got to do some. We've got to do something.
God, I could just see it now going, freedom. I don't know. I just think it's a ludicrous. Did you ever think you've
Foster.
got that image now of me, haven't
I
you, with the
have,
gingham
Foster.
tablecloth wrapped
I
round
have,
my head?
Foster. But you know what? Everyone listening, and I
I'm
want to
going to
say,
wave my doily.
everyone listening, at 3:30 this morning, we were crying because
Yeah.
of all this. So, but we have to laugh and laugh. And that's another thing. What's happened about laughter? We need more laughter. We need it. So that's another thing. But thank you, Foster. Because
giving you that image of me going down the streets with my,
I
gingham
I
tablecloth,
have.
my doily, broom handle, a right old battle axe,
Yeah,
basically,
yeah.
screaming
Well,
freedom.
I think we might be getting on a train and going off to this march, because actually,
Peacefully.
whoever, and it is
Peacefully.
peaceful, absolutely. So, all you young people out there, please stand up, be counted, because it is for the
And
world.
do your
Yeah,
homework, do your due
yeah,
diligence. Because
please, put,
for both Marshall and myself, we went on the anti-war march. when
Yeah.
it was Iraq, and we had a Blair
Yeah.
government then.
Oh,
And
oh, yeah, that
I have
name. Oh,
never been so inspired
yeah.
by the multicultural coming
Yeah, all of
together.
us coming together, yeah.
It was a sea of wonderful, like-minded people, all
Cultural
age groups.
families,
Oh,
everybody, all of us.
absolutely. And the vibe on that day
Yeah,
was
it was wonderful.
absolutely magical. And I know that there are people who are here from other countries that were born here and are as English as I am. And
Absolutely.
I want that known, because you
Yeah,
are as English. I see you as
yeah.
brothers. I
Yeah,
see you as sisters.
I've got black friends. I'm proud of it.
But they're our brothers and
multicultural.
sisters. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're our brothers and
yeah,
sisters. You were born here.
absolutely.
You've worn the t-shirt. You've
Yeah,
got your turban. Brilliant.
yeah. We all
I love it. I
Yeah, we all
absolutely love it.
contribute to the country and
But
do
can
our
we
bit.
have
Yeah,
balance? Can we have
yeah.
sense and common sense and a way of
Sense,
managing it?
sense and
That's it.
sensibility.
Sense and
I have to
sensibility.
just add, what does worry me, is that a lot of the men that were in these dinghies, they're very fit. They're very, they're not malnourished. They're not the people I would see who was desperate from a war-torn country.
What, France?
Anywhere that they're
No,
supposed to
because
come from. Yeah,
actually, the laws regarding asylum seeking is the first country you reach is where you seek asylum. So these people are coming over from war-torn France.
gosh,
And we
it
know
just
that
gets worse.
France is not at war. So that's the joke.
Yeah,
Because France isn't war-torn. They're actually helping them into the dinghies.
yeah, yeah.
So
It's
I
not
think we
right.
all
It's
no,
not good.
it's all criminal. It's all criminal.
Yeah,
It's a
and we need
money-making
we need
scam.
a government that's going to look after everybody. That's for sure, and the elderly. And why should families have to depend on a food bank in the year 2026?
It should
Come
not. It
on,
should not. I mean, I
come on.
put food into the food banks.
Yeah, come on. I mean,
I
oh,
donate, and I look and I think, wow, you know, we were homeless as
yeah.
a family as well when we were
Yeah, we
younger.
were.
So we do know what
100%.
that
We know
feels
what
like.
homelessness is like.
Absolutely.
So
We
we're not
do,
talking
actually.
for,
No, it's not. This isn't for fun. It's for real.
no. Yeah, this
And
is
our parents
100%.
didn't receive any help at all, by the way.
Oh, no, they
Not a
didn't.
penny.
Never. No, they didn't. Dad was in the military. He never got anything. He never
No.
got any help. And indeed, there are a lot of military people out on the streets have got nothing.
There are.
No home, no help.
No, because they've slid down
And they fought for their
that slippery
country.
slope of maybe coming out and being traumatized, not receiving the
Yeah.
help and
Post-traumatic stress disorder and not being looked after and treated.
absolutely. So, and you know, they need some TLC. They need our
Yeah.
help, and there are a lot where I am
Yeah.
that do exactly that. So
Yeah.
I
But
think
we should they should all be helped by the government and given homes, shouldn't they?
absolutely,
Absolutely.
yeah, they should. They should.
You know, and these young people out on the streets, you know, and God knows they probably run away from abusive families anyway and need the help. We know about that, don't we, Foster?
We certainly do.
So, and not because we were abused, but we know of and
No,
our
in actual fact,
clients.
yeah, it's client based really. So
Yeah.
anyway, I think on that note,
I think we'll leave it all with you. Thank you so much to all our followers. We are over the moon. We really appreciate you all. And just watch this space because there'll be more from us, you know.
absolutely. So
Well, Foster and I are planning on some talks in the future, not too distant future. And we hope that you'll come along and listen to us live, and we can all get together and put our two pennyworth in. So yeah, foster.
Absolutely. So like and subscribe, share this video if you think we're worth listening to for a Friday morning rant from the onset of 3 a.m. this morning.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's off the bounce. I think it's very much in our minds. But, you know, I think stay happy, stay healthy, stay sane.
yeah. And that is never a try. Absolutely, foster. Bye for now.
Bye for now.